This is Zoe Palmer and
Chris Holden Reed.
And we're on Open the Fridge.
I hope there's something good in there.
Me too. I mean, you should open your fridge once in a while. Do it.
All I see is an old crusty bottle of ketchup in the back, though.
That's weird. Why is that there?
Bachelor pad.
All right. Bye.
So you guys just wrapped up one of your SiriusXM radio shows here.
Yes.
How's it been going for you guys?
It's been going great, actually. We have extended shows for the run of the con, 2 hours a day, live shows. We've been recording interviews with a lot of people throughout the day. Great conversations with Lily Taylor talking about The Conjuring. We had Bill Paxton in, talked to him for like almost half an hour. God, he was so much fun. Talking to him about a graphic novel he's got. Alyssa Milano's got a graphic novel. There's a lot of people who have projects that maybe aren't being able to be sold in Hollywood. Like they can't find somebody to sign off on doing it as a movie or something. So, with Bill Paxton, for instance, he's got this great property called, this really interesting graphic novel called 7 Holes for Air. And it was a script that came to him, a spec script that he liked a lot, but nobody wanted to buy it. And he liked it so much, he produced it into a graphic novel that comes out in September, I believe. Just because he was so happy with the story, he was so confident in the story, he felt like this needs to have an audience, and this is the way I can get it, and maybe that'll then turn into a movie at some point.
Okay. So, of all the news that comes out of Comic-Con, there's obviously every day something else. What are some of the most interesting things that you've heard come out as far as the movies go? There's a lot of surprises that'll end up coming up. We're still relatively early in the day right now on Saturday, so some of the bigger panels that'll happen, I don't even know what's going on. I've been kind of locked up in this room doing radio all day. But what was interesting is again talking to Bill Paxton, he's working on a kung fu project. Bringing back the TV show Kung Fu, he's attached to direct a Kung Fu movie that they're hoping to turn into a franchise. So that that's interesting. Andrew Garfield showed up at the Marvel panel, the Fox panel for Amazing Spider-Man in full costume, in character, gushing over Jamie Foxx and Jamie Foxx movies. So, people have fun. That kind of stuff is cool. One of the big things, this is more on the TV beat, but Joss Whedon said, I couldn't show you a clip for my Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, so here's the pilot episode, right? So I think the coolest thing is, the panels are cool, but it's the surprises that happen. Somebody comes along and just does some huge surprise that no one's prepared for. That's the most exciting stuff, because then that's the news that gets out somebody just announced this. That stuff's really cool. So, of some of the stuff, you guys give tomato meter ratings for all the movies that come out every week. But what would you give a tomato meter rating for this Comic-Con so far?
For this Comic-Con, I'd have to go fresh. It's still a lot of fun. Probably, at least in the 80s. Gets a little crowded, so it loses some points for that. But I'd say in the 80s.
Okay. Besides the surprises, what are some of the most interesting things you always see here every year at Comic-Con?
I love the costumes. I love the cosplayers. I love the workmanship and the loving care that goes into some of these costumes. You see some really cool stuff. I think my favorite costume I saw so far was a couple of guys walking around, one as Lego Darth Vader and one as Lego Boba Fett, in the way they look like giant Lego figures. That's one of my favorites so far. I just love the creativity and just the workmanship and just the love and the passion that people put into their costumes. And the pride. I love it.
Speaking of that, I think when we walked in here, I saw Gray Drake in a Femme Riddler costume.
Yes, that's a great costume. That got her a huge hug from Sam Jackson yesterday. So that costume has served her well.
Very nice. All right, so I guess what do you want to tell the fans of Rotten Tomatoes out there? What can they look forward to getting from you guys here at Comic-Con and even beyond?
We got lots of cosplay pictures. Check out the radio show. We're going to have recaps of all of the interviews that we've covered. And just keep checking out the scores on the site. That's what I would say.